Pressure from standardized testing. The emphasis on test scores as a measure of success places undue pressure on teachers to teach to the test, often at the expense of creativity and meaningful learning experiences.
Teachers are currently on strike in Saskatchewan. And so, yeah, I had become an administrator in Saskatchewan, and I'm going to be really honest, it's the reason I quit. And the reason that I quit was when I looked at the situation and the lack of resources in our buildings and the lack of funding in our divisions and the apathy from the government. It's overwhelming. And you know, I was an administrator for 5 years, and in that time I was a vice principal and an acting principal, and when push comes to shove, it became very apparent that as an administrator I was going to have to pick between sacrificing my staff or sacrificing our students. And that is not something that I carried lightly, and it's not something that I could live with, because I know at the end of the day it's going to be the sacrifice of our grown-ups. It's going to be the sacrifice of our teachers before our students. And the problem with that is that our teachers are suffering. I don't know what we need to do to get the government to start understanding that when our teachers are screaming, there are canaries. They are the ones telling us that there are things that are going horribly, horribly wrong in our education system that need to be corrected. And I think the most frustrating part about all of this is that the teachers have the answers. They know how to solve these problems. We know how to teach. We know how to do all of that. We have the answers. We just need the government to support us in that and believe in our ability to do that, because there is no better person to tell us how to be running education than the grown-ups that are inside of our buildings every single day with our kids. Those are our experts. So support our teachers, support education in Saskatchewan, public education. That is a rarity across the world right now, and I think Saskatchewan doesn't understand the importance of public education. That needs to be protected. So please call your MLAs, please call the government.
Political and cultural conflicts. Teachers are often caught in the crossfire of political debates over curriculum content, book bans, and issues like diversity and inclusion. This constant scrutiny and criticism make the job feel less about education and more about appeasing external agendas.
Here are 6 things that had me shook on my first day of my new job as an ex-teacher. Number 1, they said come into the office at 9:30 a.m. By 9:30, I would be like 1 Red Bull, 2 coffees in, and in my second period class, I would get to school at the butt crack of dawn. 9:30. Number 2, I could chug water because I could just get up and go pee whenever I had to go pee. Number 3, I was allowed to eat lunch whenever I was hungry and I didn't have to speed eat. Number 4, and this was not a regular thing that they do, but there were mimosas at the Monday morning meeting. Mimosas and croissants. This we ever got were cold breakfast tacos and boxed coffee as a teacher. Number 5, there are 3 work from home days every week, which I did not know about when I took the job, but work from home. The last one said that I had windows.
Lack of career advancement opportunities. Teaching often lacks a clear path for career growth, leaving many educators feeling stagnant. Professional development opportunities are either inadequate or irrelevant to their day-to-day challenges.
A student approached a teacher asking, wanted to talk about their grade, wanting to raise their grade.
This was on the news, right? Like it was in the news.
I've made sure like all of these have been in the news.
Right.
And she said, the teacher said, there's not much we can do about your grade right now, but like, let's see what our options are. She goes to sit by her desk. He comes up behind her with a computer cord and starts strangling her. And she wakes up and just on the floor, and he's trying to put a cabinet over her.
That's horrible.
And he's yelling at her, and like, just trigger warning, just for anyone listening,
Right.
like, can you hurry up and die? Like, just hurry up.
Was that in the article?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Did
It's
you
like
see
one of
this
the only
show?
things that she remembers is that he was just standing up over her because like I guess help was coming and he knew it, and he was just yelling at her,
Wow.
hurry up and die.
Safety concerns. Rising incidents of school violence and inadequate measures to ensure safety leave many teachers feeling vulnerable.
Teaching in the year 2025 is not the same career as it was teaching before the pandemic. And I think a lot of people just aren't talking about it because the people who were in it before the pandemic are the only ones who have seen how drastic of a change this is. And if you are somebody who's thinking about becoming a teacher, you are basing that sentiment and that feeling and that draw toward the profession based on your experience as a student. Your childhood memories, even up to high school, is not the same environment. If you were in high school when the pandemic started, you still knew what it felt like to be in a real elementary school class, a real middle school class where there was projects and there was creativity and the curriculum wasn't scripted. And the change isn't entirely because of the pandemic, but the pandemic is a great marking place that divided this, is the continental rift, right? It's because before the pandemic, teachers were the curriculum. There was a curriculum to follow, but it was more of a pacing guide. And now we have what's called a scripted curriculum. And you would be shocked by how many teachers have a scripted curriculum. And this means that teachers are not the autonomous professionals. Teachers are not the ones who earned their degree and they have the depth of subject knowledge and they are the ones who are deciding what happens every day. The script is. They're going by a script. And the idea behind the script is that any administrator can walk into any classroom on any day of the year and everyone will be on the same page, literally. And this, plus all of the additional duties, responsibilities, and things to cry over in teachers' lives, is the reason why so many teachers really have to stick to that script, is because they literally do not have the bandwidth emotionally, intellectually, physically to do the things that they want to do, even if they have been teachers since the 90s, since the 2000s. Teaching is not the same, and it has gone so deeply into this hole that it cannot be the same again. And this is why the shift has happened, where behaviors have escalated crazy. It's not because of just parents, it's not just because of students, like it's all of these conditions together. Behaviors are not going to go back to the way they were before. The environment of a classroom is not ever going to go back to what you thought it was before. Everything has changed so drastically, so quickly, and in the wrong direction that it is irretrievable. I know this in my heart as somebody who was a teacher from 2014 to 2022. And I know this in my heart as a parent who is observing these changes going on. And I know this in my heart as somebody who has very close friendships with teachers who are creators on this app. People often ask me, would you go back? I cannot go back. There's not something to go back to. It's not about the money. It never was about the money. That's not why I left education. It's about the conditions and what's going on and how this is impacting teachers and students. It's no longer an environment that I can see myself ever being in and not wanting to scream every moment of the day. I needed the freedom and the autonomy that I was trusted as a professional. And if I go back into a school, I do not have that freedom. I do not have that autonomy. I do not have that trust. I am not considered the knowledgeable person in the room, even though I have the responsibility ultimately at the end of the day for every learner in that room. So you get all of the responsibility, but with none of the autonomy. Schools are the narcissistic controller and the one who's profiting from the teacher's efforts, and teachers are the victim in the abusive relationship. And the students are the ones who are just catching the strays.